What's up guys, welcome to another video. Happy to have you on here. So today I'm going to be exploring the power of AI when it comes to coding. I'm sure you're already aware that this AI technology that has been taking over the world, and today we're going to look at how precisely it's going to be taking over the coding space. So today we're going to be building a portfolio, and we are going to be building the portfolio without writing a single line of code. So AI is going to be writing all of our codes, and in this video I'm going to show you just how to do that. So the first step you want to do is go for the cursor editor. So Cursor is an amazing editor which has AI features integrated. It's built on top of VS Code, so you are going to find yourself just at home. So we're going to be using the Cursor editor to build our app totally. So the first thing you want to do is to head over to cursor.com, where you're going to find the editor here. So you can look for the download button. It's free to use. And there's also a paid version. A paid version just comes with additional features, but right off the bat, on the free version you already have a lot of the features you need. So you can start with the free version, and later on, if you're interested, you can go for the paid version. So you download the app, and then once you're done installing, this is what your interface is going to be look like. It comes dark, in dark mode, totally dark mode, but you can always change it in the settings. It's just like VS Code. So if you know about VS Code, you'll find yourself just at home. So once you have this installed, let's go ahead and start coding. And so it understands programming languages, whether it's Python, C++, or whatever programming language you want to use. So today we're going to be creating our portfolio using Next.js. We could also just use React, or we could also use PHP or whatever programming language, but just for simplicity we are going to go with Next.js. So let's go ahead and create our project. So I'll just go ahead and create Next.js project named my portfolio using the latest version of Next.js. So we go ahead and put in the command, and it's going to install Next.js. Okay, so now our project has been installed. We are going to go ahead and run it, npm run dev. And so now we have a fresh installation for our portfolio. You can see the folder right here for our portfolio. So we are going to go ahead and open the app. We're going to move into our folder before running it. So here we have the home page, and so this is our home page right here for our app, a brand new Next.js project which has been installed. Nothing has been added, no code has been added. This is the default code it comes with. So we're going to run it, and we're going to see the default page. And so what makes Cursor unique, because we already have AI tools which can generate code, but what makes Cursor unique is that it has this full context for your project. It has access to all these files. It knows all the code that is in there. So when you give it instructions, not only can it create new files, but it can equally edit the files which are already currently there. So now you can access Cursor AI tools in two ways, either locally in the file or globally for the whole entire project, and it is very useful depending on what you are trying to implement. So go ahead and open our project and see it, how it looks like. So you're going to go ahead, it's going to load the page. So while that's loading, let's come back to Cursor. So you can access it, like I was saying, globally or locally in a file. So to access it locally, you can select the piece of code you want to edit. Maybe you just select this piece of code here, or you select everything and you press Ctrl K, and this is a prompt that is going to enter here, where you are going to enter the prompt you want, or tell it what you want it to do. Or you can access it globally by pressing Ctrl I. And so when you press Ctrl I, it's going to show you this little interface down here, and this is the global version of Cursor, where it accesses all the files. And so the difference is that when you access it locally, you just want to pass in a little bit of features that you want updates on. But when you access it globally is when you want major features, when you want to implement something very big. And so we're going to see it right away. So our page has loaded. As you can see, this is the default page of Next.js. So we come back to Cursor, we go back globally. Another important feature when you access it globally is that you can specify which files you want it to modify. So like here you see this file, or this piece of code is already identified here. So it means that Cursor should modify the code that is in this file, this specific file, but not just this, he can still access the other ones. If he needs to add some modifications or not, he can still do those as well. So but it tells you that this is where I want my modifications to be. If you want to add some additional files you want it to modify, you can press on the plus button just here and you add the additional files. So let's go ahead. We have our new installation of Next.js. As you can see, this is the default page. So we come here now. All we want to say, now you can speak English to cursor and tell it what you want. So let's go ahead and say, I'm a front-end developer. I want you to build me a beautiful portfolio to showcase my skills and projects. So I'll just enter something as simple as that, and then I send the instruction. So now it's going to generate the code based on that. So as you can see, it replies to you in English too, or help you create a professional portfolio and page. So you can see now it shows you the pages on which is editing the code. This the specific page here, the home page, is going to begin editing the code from there. Then it's going to move on to the other pages as well. It's going to create new files if it needs to. It's going to design everything as beautiful as it can, you know. So this is the only prompt I gave it to do. So let's go ahead. It's going to take a little bit of time, not too much time though, less than a minute, to generate the code. So as you can see, it has generated. It's still generating actually, and notice that the page, the code in here is highlighted, and you can see how the new code is already entering. Feel free, you can scroll down, but you cannot really modify things because it's working on it. But as you can see, it has modified the code, and you can see the new code has been added in green and the old code is in red. So once it has added all these codes globally, you can now click on this button accept to accept the changes. And once you do that, the page is going to be automatically refreshed, and we can come back to see what is going to be displaying. So there you have it. Without writing a single line of code, we are able to generate a new project. Let me say we are able to generate a whole new interface. So as you can see, it has generated something very minimal. You see, it has generated my skills here and then project. So something very minimal, a single page. And you see, because I didn't give in more information, because I didn't really because I wasn't really precise on what I wanted, it just generated something bare bones. So we are going to go ahead and make it more precise, more specific. So all you need to do is to come back here and really add more details. So my name is Ryojima. I like the cyan color. I want my portfolio to be to have multiple pages and to be really creative. So that's it. I just specified some more details, and you know, specified the color I like, and I specified the that I want it to be have multiple pages. And as you can see, it's accessing a different file, not just the one I passed on to it. It's accessing now the layout file, because I said I want a specific color. It's accessing the layout file to modify that, because I said it should have multiple pages. That's why it's modifying the layout file. It's equally modifying this file too. The navigation bar is it has created a new file called navbar that is going to pass on there, so that now I should have multiple pages. So as you can see, it is creating new files and it is updating the current file as well. So it's going to do all of the code generation. I haven't written a single line of code thus far, so all is just prompt. So whatever you want to modify, you can just modify it straightforward. You don't need to touch anything. So it's going to generate the code. Let's give it a second. So now you can see it has finished generating the code. If you notice on the right, you can see some new files. You can now see some new folders as well. You have the components folder where it created the nav bar. You can see the nav bar here and all of the code it put in there. You can now see the global.css file it created, and it has specified all of the colors I chose, you know. So it has been generating all of this code entirely. I've not written a single line of code up to now. So we'll go ahead and click accept and give it some couple of seconds for it to refresh. So once we come back here, give it a couple of seconds for it to refresh the page. So you can wait for it to refresh. You can equally refresh it as well. Either option still works. So there you have it. It has updated the code, and now you see a whole different. So now you can see the beautiful website it has just generated. It's really on a whole other level for what it did previously. So if I scroll down, you see my skills which are listed there, and that's pretty much all for this page. But I can navigate to the other pages it has created as well. So it didn't just create one page, it created as well multiple other pages. So if I come to the projects, you see the code it has generated. It just added one project and it didn't put much more on there. So if I come to the about page as well, it did add some code in there. It did put some information as well on there. So unfortunately, it seems it didn't generate this page. Let's go to the contact page and see if it did that one as well. So unfortunately, it didn't generate the about and the contact page, but that's not a big deal. We are going to handle that just right now. But as you can see, it has already done an amazing job with the other pages. So we want to develop it more. So I don't like the home page having just this bare bones information. I want it to have much more information. So, and we notice a bug on the about page which was empty and the contact page which was empty. So you can really prompt this thing in English. You know, it's not something that you have to prompt with code. So you prompt it in English and you tell it about the box, you tell it about whatever problem that is lying there. So I'll just say, I'll like my home page to have way more information than that and be longer. Also, the about and the contact page weren't developed. You can just say that and it's going to solve those issues. So let's go ahead and send in that prompt, and it's going to generate code based on that. So I'll help you create more comprehensive home, about, and contact pages. Let's start by enhancing the home page with more sections. So you see, it understands where the problem is and is going to make the amends that it needs to make. So with this, really, you can generate a full website from simple bare bones portfolio to something even way more complex, because AI is basically understanding the full extent of your project and adding the code where it needs to add them. So it's very useful. So you can see a project like this, you know, just to build this, it would have taken at least a few minutes of coding, you know, but instantly with AI, I've been able to generate this code just by passing in prompts, and it's going to continue. So this is just our portfolio. This is how you can develop with AI, really, a full website. So let's go ahead, let's give it some time for it to finish generating this code. So now the code generation is complete. We can click on the button accept to confirm those changes. If you notice on the right, it has added the about and the contact pages, and so let's now see on the front end if those were implemented correctly, if it made the home page longer, and if it implemented the about and the contact pages. So let's give it a couple of seconds for it to refresh. So we'll go ahead and refresh it manually. So it's coming. All right, so now we have our home page. As you can see, it is way longer than before. We have a project section, we have what I can do offer you, ready to work together, and we have the skill section. You see, it's way longer than before. If you notice, the images aren't displaying on the cards, and equally here, there's a problem with the images. That's because it's trying to get images locally from our project, but we can equally specify it to use images remotely from websites like Unsplash and Pexels. But right now we're just trying to get some local images, that's why they are not displaying. But as you can already see, just with a couple of lines in English, plain English, we're able to generate this full home page. Now going to the other pages, we have the projects page, which is still there, and we have the about page. The about page, now let's see if it generated that. As you can see, it solved the issue. Now we have an about page which is displaying wonderfully. It has the information about me, professional journey, education, certifications, about me, who I am, and so on and so forth. So you see, it has added those informations there. Then the last page, contact page. So now, if you go to the contact page, you can see it has added a form that works perfectly well. Let's connect. It has added some socials there. So as you can see, it has generated the full code without me having to manually touch it. You know, so that's quite amazing. That's really amazing. So now let me show you now how you can use this locally. You know, The global exchange, the global side of cursor is when you want to implement some major features. Like you see, I was adding new pages, I was adding new features. But if I just want to, let me say, add a feature on a specific page, let me say maybe on the about page, I want to add maybe my professional journey and make it and give it more information. You know, I don't need to use the global side of cursor. I can just use the local side. All I need to do is go to the about page. I come in here and I select everything and I click Ctrl K and I tell it add more information on my journey and education. You know, now in here I can specify maybe my experience and all. I can give it all the information I want it to add, but since I'm trying to save up on time, I'm not going to do that. So just doing this is going to add some more generic information. So let's go ahead and click on that. So now you can see it going through the code, going through every line of code and adding the information where it needs to add it. So it's going in. You see the new code is green while the old code is red. So let's go ahead. Once it's done, we click on accept and then we go back to our page, and then no need to refresh. It's going to refresh automatically. If it doesn't, you can always refresh the page. So yeah, so as you can see, voila, he added a new experience and then he added the education. As you can see, he did that just perfectly well. Now that's how you can add it. So as you can see, just with English prompts, I'm developing this website on and on amazingly. So now you see, maybe you just added 2, maybe I wanted even 5 points under my professional journey, maybe I wanted 3 points under my education. You can specify that. You can go as far as you want to go. So that's how you can use AI to generate you a full website, from simple things like a portfolio to things very, very complex. One last feature I'm going to add here is a footer. So to add the footer, since the footer is not going to be on a single page, it's going to be on the entire website, I'm going to use a global version of cursor. So we'll go ahead, add a footer with all the useful links. So that's just what I'm going to do. Press enter, it's going to send it. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. It's going to generate the code. It's going to create now the footer component and equally add it to the different pages. So this really is very, very amazing. It's AI is very, very powerful. Another feature you should know is that you can scroll through the history of everything that has been done here, and you're going to notice a little button here. It's really very invisible, but it's there, and it's called checkout. And so basically this allows you to revert your code back to that instance. You know, maybe you passed in a prompt, generated code you didn't like, you want to revert back to what it did previously. You can come here and click on checkout, and it's going to revert your code back to that instance. Yeah, so it's a very important feature to know. Yeah, so it's going to go ahead and generate my footer and equally include it in the layout. As you can see, it's generating a code into those 2 files. This is quite amazing. It's really quite straightforward. So this is AI, and it has access to the internet. It knows how to implement APIs. It knows how to work on the front end, the back end, and it really knows how to generate all code. So you can use this and generate yourself a wonderful project, a wonderful app without having to write a single line of code. So it's quite amazing and quite innovative. So definitely check it out. So we'll go ahead and see our last feature, our footer. As you can see, it has created the footer and it displays amazingly. It included the logo, it included the useful links, connects, and so on and so forth. So it's going to be available on all the pages as well. You can see it added it to all the pages. It's not just on one page because we use the global version. So equally on the size of projects, we can equally ask it to add more projects. We can ask it to change the colors and so on and so forth. For example, let's say change the global color from cyan to red. So let's just do that. So you can modify everything now. So that's how you can use AI to build some amazing apps, some amazing websites, some amazing tools out there. You can use it pretty much to do whatever you can imagine in terms of coding. So if I was to code this portfolio with my experience, definitely it will not take me the 10 minutes of this video to do that. It will take me at least an hour or 2 hours to develop what it has done thus far in just 10 minutes. So you can see how it has doubled, tripled, or even 10x my speed as a coder. So it's developing professional code, well organized code that is understandable. So yeah, so this is really an innovation and you should definitely make use of it. There are definitely other tools, there are other AI tools which allow you to work and do these things. You have ChatGPT, you have Copilot and all, but you have to generate code in them, copy it and bring it back into your editor. But with this one, as you have seen, you do everything in your editor. You don't even have to write a line of code. It does it all for you and puts the code in the right places it needs to. So definitely check it out. Go to cursor.ai at cursor.com and check out the website. Download the app and give it a go. Try to build something amazing. I just went with a simple portfolio, but in subsequent videos we're going to be building even way more complex things than just this. So that's pretty much it for this video. So now let's see the last change that it had to affect. So it was to change the color from cyan to red. So as you can see, it has changed my theme easily from cyan to red color. So as you can see, with AI you can start building websites and you basically have a whole coding department at your fingertips. So definitely check it out, build some amazing things, and let me know what you think about AI as a coder in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you on the next one.